Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to this very unique and interesting session called Science and Fun in Ophthalmology.
A one of its kind session which has equal blend of science and fun.
I'm Dr. Tinku Bali.
And I'm Dr. Ikeda, and we hope that this is going to be a very exciting, enriching, and entertaining session for all of you.
Well, this session is now in its 10th year, and this session has gone from strength to strength. We have a very interested and participative audience every year. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you that the mastermind behind this show has been Dr. Harbans Lal. He's the one who conceptualized this show.
And now I'd like to invite Dr. Lalit Verma, who actually executed this idea and brought life to this concept of science and fun in ophthalmology.
Thank you, young ladies.
Give him a big hand.
You see, I have always believed that in life, success depends on multiple factors. Like we say, DME is a multifactorial disease. Success is also multifactorial. See, sometimes Arul Mozi Varman do a fantastic cataract, next day patient cornea may be hazy. Other times he may do long surgery, but still cornea is crystal clear. So what I'm trying to say is that success is skill plus luck also. Luck plays a huge role in success of life. So therefore, this concept of SFO came, where Dr. Harbans Lal masterminded, as was told. So we will have this program based on science as well as luck. So you will have 4 teams. They will be presenting their skill part. Then they will be judged on the Ludo game, the snake and ladder. That marks will be added, and then in the end we will have compilation of scores based on science plus luck. So whosoever is the winner in science plus luck, he gets certain prize, he gets certain prize. So this is the whole concept behind it. Believe me, apart from luck, there is a skill imparting is quite a bit. If you see the quality of videos in past couple of sessions, they have been fantastic teaching videos, both surgical as well as medical as well as quiz also. So there's a lot of learning, but a lot of luck also, and a lot of fun. So with this, I hand it over back to Tinku.
So we'll go ahead with the rules for this SFO, and we have 4 rounds. We have the first round, which is the surgical round, and each of the team members will present a video for 4 minutes. So we have 4 teams with 4 team members. And then we have the medical round, which will be for 3 minutes, and they'll present an interesting case. We have a rapid fire quiz lined up for you. We can answer maximum questions in a span of 2 minutes. And then we will have an interesting round of questions by our esteemed judges. So at the end of each round, there will be score given by our judges. And the twist here is that after every round, there will be an electronic dice which will move on a snake and ladder platform. And the marks given by our judges will be added to the marks that the participant gets by luck. And then the total score will finally decide who's the winner.
Well, Ikeda, that promises to be a lot of fun for all the players. But believe me, it's going to be a lot of fun for the audience as well. So you all have been given a t-shirt with a number on it. Look at the number and keep track of it, because we have the same number in a box here with us.
So please see the t-shirt on the left side.
On the left
if you
side.
read, there's a number there. And we have the corresponding number here also.
So after every round, we have audience prizes. We'll be having a draw of lots, and we'll be having 2 audience prizes, cash prizes of 5,000 rupees each. And at the end of the last round, there'll be 2 mega prizes, that is 10,000 rupees each. So you could be the lucky winner, and if you want to win the mega prize, you have to stay till the end. So watch out for your numbers, hold tight, and hope you're the lucky one. So with that.
Let me go ahead with the introduction of teams. You see, we have in AIS conferences, we normally have a LOC team. And today we have LOC team
Are you ready?
led by none else than the organizing secretary himself, Mukesh. That is the red team. Stand up, all of you will stand up and seek support and blessings of this team video. Dikhao. of you can start clapping also because you will enjoy this session. You can clap actually. And then we have the team yellow.
Team Yellow, please stand up and wave to
Team Yellow, can you please, led by Mohita Sharma, the pioneer of WAS. So why don't you clap for ladies team also? Then we have the AIUS team. This is led by Raghav. Raghav, where are you? And where is your team? Come in the center. So this is Team Blue.
Okay, Team Blue, give them a big hand.
So please wave and give support to the audience.
Captain Dr. Raghav.
And last is the green team. That's the Yossi team. And we have the president of Yossi here. President was gracious enough. He said, "Auron ko chance dete hain." So we have the green team led by the captain. Mozi.
Dr. Aditya Varman, the captain. So those were
So
our
these,
four teams.
Sorry, performance of these teams will be scientifically judged by a team of judges. You see, our judges, in contrast to the judiciary prevalent judgment, जो कि 746 years लग जाते हैं वहाँ पे. So our judgment will be delivered today itself. And I'm very happy to introduce the judges. I have Dr. Manoj Mathur, सारा treasurer संभाल के बैठा है. So treasury, believe me, he is one of the very hard-working treasurer we have had. Then we have Rajesh Sinha is here. Rajesh Sinha. And then we have the president of Yossi, Diva Kant. You see the laurels he has brought to this country are innumerable. Very simple, sober boy, but does a lot of hard work. And then since Namrata, Rajesh are not there, I'll see who is the senior people. Maybe I'll request Arul Mozi to please help us in judgment because we were expecting Namrata here, but she may be busy. So Arul Mozi Varmi is a pioneering surgeon from South. we will see to it. There is an averaging done. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Anybody? Dinesh Talwar. Dinesh Talwar. We need you here. The reason is one of our judges are absent, so you can come. Come for judgment here.
Sir.
So Dinesh Talwar, my old friend for last 3.5, 4 decades, so I can count upon him. Oi, abhi nahi, bargaining abhi nahi hona. Please. No
जाएगी तो
bargaining.
सिर्फ तारीख और यही होता रहा है मिलाद तारीख पर तारीख तारीख पर तारीख तारीख पर तारीख तारीख पर तारीख मिलती रही है लेकिन इंसाफ नहीं मिला मिलाद इंसाफ नहीं मिला मिली है तो सिर्फ ये तारीख
So यहाँ पे तारीख नहीं है. This the video deliberately put it. तारीख पे तारीख नहीं. Judgment will be done now and today itself. So let's start.
Let's start. So
So
first,
can you tell the format? Huh?
yeah. So first we'll have the surgical round. Which teams?
So we'll have the surgical round. We will go in order. It will be red, yellow, blue, and green. So all of them will present surgery first, and after that we'll have audience round after that.
So we'll go round wise. First, we'll have the surgical round by all the teams. So one team member will come and present their surgical video. And after every round, we will have exciting prizes for our audiences as well. So please do stay with us till the end.
So we'll start with Team Red, and Mukesh will be presenting surgical round. So the judges issues that you will have to give marks based on his surgical skills and whatever messages he gave.
For the people coming in late, please get your t-shirts from outside with your lucky numbers on it.
All the team people, let them be loaded here, or please prepare your laptop so that don't waste time on the podium. Timer 4 minutes set karna hai. 4 minutes.
So good morning, everyone. We are taking good care of you, and I hope you will also take some care of us. Can I have my video?
Yeah. 4 minutes.
So I'll be presenting this surgical video of blepharophimosis syndrome. There was this kid who has suffered with blepharophimosis syndrome. So we do surgery in 2 stages. In one stage, we do CU plasty. I prefer CU plasty. So this C is made and it will be converted by a U. Now, what is important here is to give medial canthus tightening and to give it a depth. So we have disinserted the medial canthal ligament. Normally what people do is they just plicate it, but over the time it gets loosened up and you don't get depth of medial canthus, which we have. So what is ideal here is to do transnasal wiring. So we are using this strical drill, and just at the anterior lacrimal crest, we have made an opening. This is right fascial lata needle. The similar opening was made on the other side also. And this 26 gauge steel wire is threaded on a needle, and then this wire is passed on one side of cut end of medial canthal ligament. This will be taken on the other side, both the steel wire loop, and then these steel wire is passed on the other side of medial canthal ligament cut end. Once we have done it, we are tightening the medial canthal ligament by tightening this steel wire. We are making multiple loops, multiple swings on this, and then excess steel wire is cut by a simple DCR saw, DCR punch. Now, this stump of steel wire is buried inside the tunnel so that there are no granuloma formations, etc. Steel wire is absolutely inert. We have seen cases of Dr. Jaldeep Singh. So now the suturing is done in 2 layers. So this completes our medial canthoplasty. Now we need to enlarge the palpable fissure also. So we are doing lateral canthoplasty also. This is the stage 1 appearance. These all hypertrophic scars will go away after 3-4 months. Now stage 2, which is done after 6 months to 1 year, we are doing fascial lata sling. We are retrieving fascial lata through a very tiny incision, around 2 to 3 centimeter incision. So we have prepared the strip of fascial lata, and then sometime we do a repeat lateral canthoplasty also if we need to enlarge the palpable fissure. A pentagon is made, and then through the right fascial lata needle, we shall be threading fascial lata strips and passing it in a pentagon manner on the predetermined incision location. There is some blood in this surgery, so do not mind some droplet of blood seen on the video. Now, the needle is threaded, and in the center top incision, we are applying a knot. You can see lid is getting lift. So this is the final appearance on table. This is the tiny incision. Now you can see post-op. So this is, I'll be showing you 15-year post-op. You can see this particular patient in primary gaze. There is hardly any palpable fissure. This is after 2 years and this is after 15 years. So you can see very good result after 15 years. Now, There is another case. This is pre-op, post-op 6 months, post-op 20 years. And yet another patient, 6 months and 20 years post-op. Now here, what you are seeing is 20 years back, this father has come up with his his son for his treatment. We have treated the son. He has become adult after 20 years. Unfortunately, his child has developed blepharophimosis syndrome because it's an autosomal dominant condition, and he has brought his child for treatment. So I will be treating third generation of the same family. So this itself is a testimony of our own results. So I think this brings end to my presentation.
Thank you, Mukesh. The clapping by judges say it all. लोगों ने कहा था भगवान होते हैं, लेकिन भगवान आज दिख गए. बहुत सुंदर. Now you can give marks based on his judges. 9.
Thank you.
3, 10 है. 10. So 10 marks इसको मिले मुकेश को. And हाँ, average is 10. So now there will be मुकेश अभी वहीं रहो. तुम्हें luck देखना है ना. Science तो अच्छा हो गया. Luck. Now you can roll the dice. 5. For 15 पे आ गया. Yeah, 15. That's perfectly okay. So excellent job done. Now we will have the yellow team coming up for surgical case. So you see, there's so much of learning in this session. Mukesh presented excellent and very long-term follow-up. You see, people show follow-up of few weeks or months. You have shown years and decades, actually. So welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to present a very challenging case for polar cataract. We can start the video. Thank you.
Steady hands, silent room, a breath held deep inside a single
So here I was
cut,
requesting everybody should be prepared for video so that... and to the crowd, I'll request everybody should be wearing a t-shirt. Very shortly we will have a distribution of prizes for the audience. Can you see it here?
It's not shown there.
So shall we go to the blue team otherwise in case?
Just have to connect. It's not right now, so. Full screen.
Is this the one?
Yes, this is the
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Volume. Thank you.
So you can start.
So here's an interesting case of a polar cataract.
steady hands, silent room, a breath held deep inside a single cut. A world can shift with no place left to hide. Behind the blade, a story leaves, not always told with pride. A choice, a call, a moment faced, where strength and fear collide. Behind the blade, beneath the light, a woman stands to face the fight. With every stitch, with every scar, she mends what's torn, she reaches far. The weight she bears, the truth she's made, she's more than just the hand behind the blade.
Very, very nice.
behind
Excellent
the
video. Excellent video.
blade, behind the blade, behind the blade.
If you have going at stuff.
I think it's experience, I think it's patience, and I think it's being methodical, knowing that you're going to do your very best based largely on your experience. And I don't think pseudo-fakia is the aim. I think managing the patient to the best of your ability, minimizing the complications or the potential of things getting worse is what
Where
works.
did you get this music from? Very nice music also.
AI, all of it, AI.
So judges marks for marks. Judges have very 10, 10, 7 and 8. 9. 9 is the average. So you will try your luck also. Roll the dice here. So 9 and 10. So a lot of things to be covered. So now, please, you can have a seat. We'll have a video by the blue team now. And we have Obli to present this video. marks by the judges? 10, 10. 10, 10 is the average. Fantastic surgery. Very nice. So luck, Obli? 2. 10 and 2, 12. Fantastic teaching. In fact, sandwich technique is not a very commonly practiced technique, but this gentleman has published a lot of data on sandwich technique. So very nice. So we'll have the last video by the surgical team, that is the green team, Yossi. Yes, the captain himself is here.
Can you pause the video for a second?
Can we start, please? Let's not waste time in between because... Is this your video?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yeah, please start.
Start, please. Yeah, so this is a challenging case of cataract where we have microspherophakia and a mature cataract. So as we know, the biggest challenge here is the loose zonules. So as you can see, just starting the rexus itself is very challenging as I'm not able to get the flap raised. So to aid me in this, I'm now switching to forceps, and I'm using Callisto wireless digital marker to help me center my rexus properly. So as we see here, as we're doing it, we see how mobile the whole capsular bag is, but just taking my own time, using patience, trying to get a very centered, very well-sized rexus, using circumferential motion and getting it centered correctly and pulling the capsular tags to the center to get it well centered. So now we're switching to using the capsular hooks. As you can see, it's challenging to place the hooks also because the bag keeps moving. But now we're placing 4 capsular hooks to give us the additional stability that will be needed in order to proceed with phaco in a safe manner. So we're starting with the phaco now. I'm using a high vacuum and a high flow setting. We have to be very careful here because the bag is very weak. We can't do too much of lateral separation. So slow motion phaco, taking the time to debulk the nucleus, getting a deep groove, and then proceeding to do very careful lateral separation in order to break the cataract into smaller fragments, which then can be removed safely at the center of the pupil. So again, we're just taking the time, debulking, removing smaller and smaller fragments, taking time not to do too much of lateral separation and further weaken the bag, which can compromise the placement of the IOL later. So using a vertical chop technique here, embedding deep into the nucleus, making smaller and smaller pieces, and taking the pieces to the center, and doing slow phaco. At this point of time, I actually changed my phaco from 2.4 to a 2.8 because I felt the fluidity and the stability of the chamber was not enough in the 2.4. So we're just proceeding with the 2.8 millimeter sleeve and tip now. Again, half the cataract has now been finished, so we're taking the time to remove the last remaining fragments, staying in the center. This is the most challenging part because now we're down to the last piece. You can have a PCR here because of the loose zonules. So what I do now is I take out my chopper, use a viscoelastic cannula, and as I'm fragmenting the last piece, I'm simultaneously injecting visco with my left hand. So injecting visco and removing the last piece so as to keep the capsular bag taut and not having a capsular rupture at the last stage of the nuclear removal. So nucleus is now removed, proceeding with INA. What I see here now is the bag is very lax, and as I'm trying to pull on the cortex, I'm also pulling on the bag and further causing more zonular laxity and zonular dehiscence. So this could be problematic here. Just taking my time to hold those cortical fibers and very gently pulling towards the center. But at this point of time, I'm not very happy with what I'm seeing. So I proceed to place in a CTR. So the CTR is being placed now through the side port incision. So as I'm dialing the CTR, you can see how loose the bag is. So you're seeing some folds in the posterior capsule. But it's still intact, so we place the CTR now. And I proceed to place the IOL because I don't want anything inadvertent to occur as I'm doing the cortical removal. The IOL is placed, and now proceeding now to remove the remaining cortex. So the remaining cortex can now be very safely aspirated because we have the support of both the capsular hooks and the CTR in place now. And finally, we remove the last remaining cortical fibers, and then we can just proceed to getting the capsular hooks out, and then we can finish up the case. So we're just removing the capsular hooks. At this point of time, I see some vitreous prolapse, which is happening nasally. So staining with tricot, finishing up with the anterior vitrectomy to clean up the anterior chamber and removing the last few stray fragments that are there in the chamber, and we can close up the case. This patient was followed up at 1 year, and the IOL was perfectly stable.
So, you were not having palpitations, but all of us are having palpitations. But yeah, anything can happen in this patient. But lot of learning. Let the judges give the marks. So 10, 10, 9, 9. So average is 9. So you have had videos from retina, from plasty, from cataract. Very nice. Oops. दिखाओ chart. So okay, so that is the whole beauty of this game, that sometimes you will climb up the ladder, sometimes for no fault of yours, luck may not be with you. But don't worry, a lot of 3 rounds more are remaining for your team. So this finishes round 1. So now comes the audience. You see, all of you should be, looking at your number of the T-shirt. So because this one of them, Arul, can you pick up one number from here? Any number. So what you can announce? This number is 109. Anybody wearing T-shirt 109? है किसी का 109? No. Please, आओ भाग के आओ. T-shirt पहन के आना ऐसे नहीं. Please run, unless you don't want the prize. Arul, can you please come here? You have to hand over him the prize. पहन लो. इसका वीडियो बनाओ यार. Unprepared. What is your name, please?
Sir, Dr. Rahul Kushwaha.
कहाँ से?
Sir, Bihar.
So collect this prize from Dr. Arul. You see, it's a huge amount of prize. Chal, thank you, and don't go away because a lot of prizes more are there. एक और. Treasurer, don't give the blank this thing. Announce. 5 and 9, 59. 59, anybody? 59 T-shirt. जल्दी, नहीं तो next. Nobody? अरे T-shirt पहले ही पहन के देखना चाहिए. एक और निकालना है. One more. Pick one more. 59. $279. Next number $279. Come on, lady, young, run. Manoj, can you please come here? So Manoj will hand over. The honorary treasurer of AIUS will. Treasurer, काम ही ये पैसा देना. Come.
Okay, began.
Introduce yourself.
Dr. Rupali Birud from Mumbai.
Very good, excellent. Enjoy your day today. So from
Thank
this,
you.
we'll move on to
the medical round, the medical case presentation round. So each team will present a medical case for 3 minutes.
So we'll again begin with Team Red only.
Yes, Team Red.
So Team Red, so Dr. Vishal Agarwal, pioneering retina surgeon from Jaipur. So Arul, this is your first participation here. How do you like this?
Very interesting, very nice.
Because, what was the nice part?
Okay, you have presentations which are science, then you have chance and luck, both put together.
So the whole beauty of this program is luck component has been added here. Yes, Vishal, are you ready?
Can I start?
Yes, please start.
Thank you. So I'll be presenting an interesting case, branch retinal arterial occlusion with severe headache. Are we missing something? So a 31-year-old male patient came with multiple referrals referred from outside as BRAO, and nothing can be done, as we all say in these cases. And the the anterior segment examination was fine. The right eye vision was finger counting. The left vision was 6/6. But the different thing in this case was the patient was young. He was having severe headache, very irritable and disoriented for the past 2 months. He had a hearing loss for the past 1 month, which nobody noticed. And all the vitals, the BP pulse and everything was okay. And now if you see the fundus photograph of the right eye which had a BRAO, you can see of course the BRAO, but you can see the arterial involvement and the venous involvement in the periphery, which is very uncommon in a routine case of BRAO. And when you look at the left eye, which was not seen anywhere else, again you can see the vessel involvement in the periphery, both the arteries and both the arteries and veins, both are involved in the left eye also. And of course the OCT showed signs of BRAO, hyperreflective foci within the retina. And if you do angiography, we did angiography, ultra-wide field angiography, you can see the hyper fluorescence of the arterial wall in the right eye. You can see the CNP areas, non-perfusion areas, and a BRAO, of course. And even in the left eye, you can see hyperfluorescence of the veins, which is uncommon in a simple case of BRAO. So to summarize, right eye had a BRAO, sclerosed vessels, gas plaques. Left eye also had vessel involvement and hyperfluorescence of the venous wall. We then sent a neurology and an ENT reference, and an MRI was done, and there were, small discrete T2 flare intense lesions in the body of the corpus callosum and frontoparietal subcortical white matter, which is very rare. And he had sensory hearing loss in both the eyes. So combined with ophthalmological examinations, BRAO, with the neurological findings, with the hearing loss, that led us and our colleagues to the diagnosis of Suzak syndrome, which again is a very, very rare diagnosis, which involves the brain with the cognitive impairment, irritability, retinal involvement, as mentioned, BRAO and vessel involvement, and of course, vestibulocochlear involvement. So the treatment was given, AC synthesis was given, IVIG and IVMP was given, injection rituximab as a maintenance therapy was given. There was improvement in headache and depressive symptoms. And as you can see, the right eye at presentation was this, at 6 weeks follow-up was this, the BRAO has resolved, the vision has improved, and you can see the FFA findings also. But the left eye developed new BRAO lesions again. And you can see the increasing vessel involvement in the left eye, which was initially not involved. So it requires lifelong monitoring, and you dictate the neurologist how to treat and to repeat the treatment as per the FFA findings. Thank you. It's a very rare case. 400 cases has been reported in the world and less than 10 in India.
Very, very nice case. But how did it occur to you that you have to seek a neurological consultation?
Because he was highly irritable, and the parents were complaining that he has a lot of headache, which is not subsided by painkillers.
So an eye finding can lead on to discovery of this syndrome. Yes, sir. Judges, marks, 10, 10, 10. 10, 10, 10. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So even if you don't win, you are already won. So now, roll the dice. Wait. Oh. So again, that's the beauty. He has climbed a ladder now. 27 to 34. Excellent, excellent. So let's have the presentation by the yellow team. Medical case. Don't want to waste time because we have another session coming after this.
Can you?
इसको हटा this laptop. Yeah,
So-
yes, Somshila.
Good afternoon. My case is entitled From Darkness to Dawn, Restoring Vision Against the Odds. This is about a case of Moran's ulcer, and what is different I'll show you. We all know that it's a peripheral ulcerative keratitis. Sometimes it can be very severe, and it can cause even vision loss in our patients, and it does need immunosuppressive therapy. And vision restoration, once we balance out the inflammation or quieten it, only then we can undertake surgery for vision restoration. So my patient is a 49-year-old lady, diabetic, and she gave a 1-month history of poor vision in both eyes. She was investigated for immune-mediated diseases, was negative. She had received some amount of immunosuppression by the local referring colleague. So this is the entry level when the patient had gone to the local colleague, showing bilateral peripheral ulcerative keratitis. And with the overhanging edges, this is a classic case of what we call as Moran's ulcer. So she underwent conjunctival resection with glue BCL application, which is one of the therapies that we do for milder cases. But instead of getting better, in 3 weeks' time, it got worse. Still, she had fairly reasonable vision because central cornea was okay. But again, in 3 months, nothing was happening. And by the time it was about 5 months, both eyes she had very poor vision. And this is how the patient presented to us. So she had counting finger vision. She had to be helped by her assistant to come into the room. And in fact, in the right eye, she even appeared to have infection. So we did corneal scraping from the right eye. Luckily, we could treat the infection. And what we did instead different is that we initiated therapy. We knew that we have to go very strong in terms of immunotherapy for this patient. So we gave her pulse methylprednisolone, started her on lower doses of oral steroids because of diabetes, and initiated therapy with a biological agent called adalimumab. So this was after we did glue BCL with corneal scrapings for the right eye. We applied an amniotic membrane. This is the left eye, already getting a little stabilized with the immunotherapy. 3 months later, we had to repeat and do another multi-layered amniotic membrane for the right eye. Whereas in the left eye, she was remarkably better, and she was able to see through her left eye. The medical therapy included bi-monthly ADA for 2.5 years now, tapering oral steroids. She's off steroids now. She's on methotrexate. Surgical interventions. She did have multiple surgical interventions as well. And this is 6 months after starting therapy. This is current treatment. She's undergone cataract surgery in the left eye. Her vision has recovered to 20/40. And we're waiting now to plan cataract surgery for her right eye. So immunosuppression is required for such patients because we want them to get out from the dark to the light.
An extremely challenging case scenario and beautifully, beautifully managed. Let's see what our judges have to say. Nine. Can we have the electronic dice, please? Oh, wow, you got a 6. One more roll. Excellent. Excellent. Can we have the team blue with their case, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be presenting a case of metastatic versus second malignancy, a diagnostic dilemma in a treated case of bilateral retinoblastoma. So we had a 4-year-old male patient from Bihar presented with hypopyon in the right eye, and at the time of initial presentation, there was acute redness in the eye from January 2020, and there was a fixed hypopyon. On ultrasound, vitreous cavity had mild to moderate amplitude spikes suggestive of vitreous hemorrhage or vitreous opacities. On MRI done in 2020, there was a bilateral retinoblastoma with no optic nerve involvement, and on EUA, group B RB in right eye and group E RB in left eye was diagnosed. For right eye, he underwent a focal therapy with transpupillary thermotherapy, and in the left eye, enucleation was done, which was sent for histopathology. And on histopathology, there was poorly differentiated retinoblastoma infiltrating the iris, anterior chamber, angle, and no optic nerve involvement was there. On follow-up EUA done on 6th of March, right eye active lesion was done, noticed, and TTT was again repeated, and adjuvant chemotherapy was advised. So on family history, this was the only child affected. On local examination, on presentation, there was a cheek fullness with a 6 into 5 centimeter swelling over the right cheek extending from below the lateral canthus to the to the ala of the nose, angle of the mouth, and 3 centimeters anterior to the tragus. It was firm to hardened consistency, and there was no fluctuation. So on fundus, there was an inferior nasal lesion in the right eye, which was found to be the same size as the previous imaging. So what happened basically? Was it a second malignancy? Was it a metastatic retinoblastoma? Was it a new primary tumor? Or was it a fresh soft tissue malignancy? So imaging of the head and neck was done. And so on investigations, we found a well-defined heterogeneously enhancing soft tissue mass in the right maxillary sinus. And it was 16 to 15 to 43 millimeters in size. And it was hyper-intense on T1 weighted image with sunray speculated periosteal reaction of the bone. There was also destruction of inferior alveolar process, hard palate, medial, inferior lateral wall of the right orbit with extension into the right nasal cavity and oral cavity. The optic nerves were bilaterally normal. The incisional biopsy was also done, and it suggested the presence of a malignant round cell tumor, and it was synaptophysin positive. So we made a diagnosis of bilateral retinoblastoma, which was regress in the right eye, and left eye was anophthalmic with a metastatic disease to the right cheek. So a peds oncology referral was done. PET CT showed a metabolically active large mass lesion in the right maxillary sinus with a foci of increased uptake. Bone marrow biopsy showed no evidence of metastasis. Ultrasound abdomen was normal, and blood workup was also normal. So he was planned for 6 cycles of augmented chemotherapy. Post 4 cycles, PET showed minimal residual disease, and post 8 cycles, PET showed a complete metabolic response in the right cheek. So the patient was further planned for radiotherapy. So our patient responded well to chemotherapy and radiotherapy and was doing well. Thank you.
Marks by judges. 9. So where is she?
Total score.
So next, let's go to the
Team Green, please.
Hello, everybody. So I'll be telling about a case which I hope nobody ever sees in their career. So this is a 16-year-old female who came to us from Uttar Pradesh with both had diminution of vision since 20 days. She looks a happy-go-lucky child, except the fact that there is some residual facial palsy here. Her vision was 3/16 both the eyes. This is what her retina looked like. She had a macular necrotizing retinitis in both the eyes. And this is what her OCT looked like. So basically, she had a moth-eaten appearance with a full thickness involvement of the retina in both the eyes. Her FFA was fine, no vasculitis, nothing. So what were we dealing with? Her uveitis profile was fine. This did not look like the usual viral retinitis. So in MBBS, you must have read about a disease called SSPE, which is subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. It happens due to the cerebral involvement of the measles virus. So keeping in mind her age group, her bilateral macular necrotizing retinitis, we sent her to a neurologist. The neurologist, however, did not agree with us. He said there's no neurological finding and just sent the patient away. But you notice how fast these lesions have scarred without any treatment. The patient was lost to follow-up and came to us 2 months later. And this is what she looked like now. She had complete withdrawal from the surroundings and involuntary jerky movements in both her limbs. She was no PL, and this is what her retina looked like. Complete scarring and complete optic atrophy. Now the neurologist did agree with us. The CSF sample showed measles antibodies. Her MRI was suggestive of encephalitis, and the EEG showed these spikes. So SSP is diagnosed using a criteria known as Dykens criteria, where clinical was positive, EEG was positive, CSF was positive, and measles antibody was positive. Brain biopsy is only done when the patient is diseased. So diagnosis was confirmed, and she was advised neurothecal interferons, but she passed away 5 months later. And this was approximately 6 months after she first presented to an ophthalmologist. We published this, but there are some very important things that every ophthalmologist should know. Macular necrotizing retinitis in a young girl or boy with macular necrotizing retinitis with this moth-eaten appearance, low socioeconomic history, could point towards this devastating disease. Thank you.
You were right that it is one of those cases. I think SSP also has a very high mortality rate. Most of these patients
100%
generally,
mortality
yes,
rate.
100% within a few, I think 1 or 2
Yeah,
years,
and
they
this
all
is
pass
so
on.
rare that if 1 million people get measles, only 1 will develop SSP.
Right.
Let's see the marks by judges.
Yeah.
Again, 9, 9, 9, 9. So where is your luck, Tanya? 1. So now we'll have a, thank you for this very nice presentation. We'll have a lucky draw for the audience. और अरे आप बैठ जाओ please, आपको lucky होगा आपका T-shirt. Where are you going? 204, 204, 204, anybody? That should be spirit. भाग के आओ जल्दी से, 1 second में. Come please, Divakant. So take from President Yossi. Come here. Have a picture. Yeah. Introduction.
Thank you. Dr. Oshin, I am from AIMS Nagpur.
Very good. One more. Dinesh, can you? 206, 206. Please come, sir. I told you are lucky. T-shirt लेके आना. ऐसे तो मिलेगा नहीं सर, प्राइज नहीं मिलेगा. T-shirt पहना हुआ ठीक है. मैंने वो सेम है, सब कुछ से. So Dinesh Talwar will hand over this prize to you. So I'm so happy to see the young crowd.
No negative marking. So you either answer the question or you can say pass. So don't waste time because we cannot go back to a question. Think wisely and answer quickly, and all the best to all the teams. So with this, we start the rapid fire round. Please be loud and clear. Timer, ma'am. I'll tell you when to start. Timer.
तुम आगे आ जाओ ना तुम आगे आ जाओ आप बस पीछे
Yeah, who
Yeah,
you will be
I'm
answering?
All right.
Yes, you will start.
So we'll
Timer
start
2
now.
minutes.
Timer for 2 minutes, please. Angular conjunctivitis is caused by which organism? Gram-positive Diplococcus.
A. Gram-positive Diplococcus.
That's
Moraxella.
the wrong answer. Moraxella is gram-negative. Question 2. The OCT shows hyperreflective band-like lesions at the level of inner nuclear layer. What is the diagnosis?
It's B. Paracentral acute middle maculopathy.
That's the correct answer. Question 3. Which of the following gags are responsible for corneal transparency? Heparin sulfate, chondroitin sulfate, keratin sulfate, or hyaluronic acid?
Keratin.
No, no, you can't answer, Vishal. You can tell her.
B. Chondroitin sulfate.
That's the wrong answer. The answer is C. So think laterally, identify this feature and the condition that this represents. Look at the pictures.
brush fire appearance
Brush fire, yes.
Sorry?
Brush fire appearance. Bush
Yes,
fire appearance.
brush field spots and Down syndrome, we'll give them that. Brush fire, oh, that's the wrong answer.
It's a wrong answer.
Which anti-glaucoma medication does Durista implant compose of? Is it bimatoprost, latanoprost, travoprost, or uniproston?
Bimatoprost.
Uniproston.
Sorry?
Uniproston D.
That's the wrong answer. The correct answer is bimatoprost. You were right earlier.
No, no, no.
Fine,
Vishal,
she gave the
firstly,
answer. She has
you
to
can't
give
speak. You have to tell her. You can't speak.
Which angle-based mix bypasses the Schlem's canal? Is it I-stent, the dual blade, hydrus, or the Zen stent?
Hydrus C.
That's the wrong answer. It's the Zen stent. Question 7. Which type of uveal melanoma has the worst prognosis? Is it spindle A, spindle B, epithelioid, or the mixed cell type?
Epithelioid C.
That's the correct answer, epithelioid. What is the mechanism behind steroid-induced glaucoma? Is it increased aqueous production?
C. Reduced trabecular meshwork outflow.
I'll give you that, reduced trabecular meshwork.
So how many correct, Tinku?
Can we have the score? 3 correct answers. A
So
round
3 out of
applause.
10.
I think our questions were a little difficult this time.
Score. Chalo, chalo. You can get a side.
Marking गलत हो गई
Now you will roll the dice here. 3.
37. Okay, 4
You can come here. Come this side.
3 is the right answer, no? 3.
3.
3. I'm rolling.
You can't question judges at all.
4.
3 and 4, 7.
7, yes.
Okay, you can get back. So next will be team yellow for the quiz.
Team yellow.
So one of you can prompt to each other, but one of you will answer. तुम लोग माइक ले लो नहीं तो you can take this mic. Mic में clarity ज़्यादा है.
So we are starting the timer. Start.
Yes.
What is the composition of the Mybo eye drops, a novel drug used to stabilize the lipid layer of tear film? If you don't know, you can pass. There are lots more questions. C. The answer is B. Which eyelid malignancy is prone to invade locally by spreading along nerves? Sebaceous cell carcinoma, Kaposi sarcoma, squamous cell carcinoma, or malignant melanoma? Quicker, you need to pass if you don't know, otherwise you lose out. There are 10 questions. C, that's correct. Which of the following drugs does not result in amorphous walls in the cornea? chloroquine, amiodarone, endomethacin, or digoxin?
C.
That's wrong, it's digoxin. Look at the pictures and identify the condition. Connect the pictures and identify the condition. Audience, please, no prompting. It's an easy one, you just need to think out of the box. We have 6 more questions, you can pass if you don't know.
Pizza on pie appearance.
You had to identify the condition. You got one, so we don't give you marks for that.
Pizza on pie is
You had to identify the condition. So what is the most common site of origin for orbital lymphoma? Superior orbit, inferior orbit, intraocular structures, or extraocular muscles?
superior orbit.
Superior orbit is right. Cataract in a diabetic patient is due to accumulation of sorbitol. The enzyme responsible is hexokinase. The timer goes off, but you can take this question. Yeah.
B.
B, NADPH dependent aldose reductase is the correct answer. So big round of applause. And Aikida, what are the scores?
Final score is 3 for Team Yellow. Big round of applause.
So Team Yellow gets 3 points.
No applause. तीन number लिए applause किस लिए? तीन number
They tried their best, so I think we should. Yeah, the question.
Let's see your luck now.
Three. Okay.
3 or dice?
3.
3 and 3, 6. Let's have the next team now. Blue team. अरे नहीं आना आपको? आओ भाई. Come fast. You can stand here only here. नहीं एक ही mic चाहिए, दो mic, only one mic.
All right, so who's going to answer the questions? All right.
Okay.
Ready?
so-
Can we have the timer set to 2 minutes, please?
Okay, timer
And
starting
start.
now.
A 26-year-old female presents 3 months post LASIK with diminution of vision and foreign body sensation. How would you treat this case? A, corneal scraping and microbiology with antibiotics. B, topical steroids.
D. Flap lift with mechanical debridement.
That's the correct answer, flap lift with mechanical debridement. Question 2, which mutation is most strongly associated with Fuchs endothelial corneal
A. PAX6.
That's the wrong answer, it's TCF4. Drug Senegermin is the new drug used for the treatment of which
D.
condition?
Neurotrophic keratopathy.
That's correct answer. A 65-year-old female presents to the OPD with a solitary mass in her right upper lid. She underwent biopsy and this is what it looks like. What is the most likely diagnosis? Squamous cell carcinoma.
Sebaceous gland carcinoma.
That's the correct answer, sebaceous gland carcinoma. Connect the pictures and identify.
Port wine stain in...
No prompting, please.
No prompting.
Sturge-Weber syndrome.
That's the correct answer. Which of the following matches are correct except, all the following are correct except, Wilson's disease is seen in, sunflower cataract is seen as Wilson's, posterior lenticonus, Alport syndrome, amiodarone, anterior lenticonus, or myotonic dystrophy, Christmas tree cataract. No prompting, please.
Audience,
Wait,
please,
wait,
no
wait,
prompting.
please.
C. Amiodarone anterior lenticonus.
Correct, that's the correct answer. The port delivery system, Susvimo, a surgically implanted ocular implant for wet AMD, has to be refilled how frequently?
B. 6 months.
That's the correct answer. The following may be found in the conjunctiva and keratoconjunctivitis sicca except dysplasia of epithelium, eosinophils, numerous goblet cells, or lymphocytic.
B.
B is the right answer, eosinophils. Very nice. Which drug is a C3 complement inhibitor approved for geographic?
B. Pegcetacoplan.
That's the correct answer. Amazing. What's the final score?
Come here.
8.
So they get 8 questions correct.
8 correct.
So they big round of applause. Well done.
Well done.
So now luck for them, 2. So anyway, let's have the last team now. Green, you can go back, please. Last team for the quiz. Tinku thoda jaldi karna because next session we have 10-15 minutes because we got late. Yes. Can you start, please?
Yeah.
Ready?
So team 4, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm starting.
starting the timer.
Timer starts now. Terran's marginal degeneration is characterized by which of the following except can be inflammatory, corneal thinning that usually begins superiorly.
A can be inflammatory.
No, that's the wrong answer. Name 2 stains used in diagnosing acanthamoeba keratitis. Gram stain and pass, Giemsa and India ink, calcofluor white and
C.
C is the correct answer. Which histopathological feature is characteristic of retinoblastoma? Flexner-Wintersteiner rosettes, Homer-Wright rosettes, perivascular pseudorosettes, or Samoma bodies?
Flexner, A.
A is the correct answer. Which retinal pathology correlates with this image?
Torpedo maculopathy.
That's the wrong answer. It's HCQS toxicity showing the flying saucer sign. Which is the most common benign orbital tumor in adults?
Cavernous hemangioma.
That's wrong. It's pleomorphic adenoma. Which visual field defect is commonly seen in optic neuritis? Homonymous hemianopia, central scotoma, bitemporal hemianopia, or arcuate scotoma? Commonly seen. Very simple.
Central scotoma.
Absolutely right. What is the inheritance pattern of Best disease?
Autosomal dominant.
Autosomal dominant is correct. Mizau phenomenon is seen in?
Oguchi's disease.
Oguchi's disease is right. Connect the pictures and identify.
Jackson cross cylinder astigmatism to confirm the axis of astigmatism.
Very nice. Where was the first eye bank established? In New York, in Miami, England, or Austria?
Austria.
No, the answer is New York. So very good performance. What's the score, Ikeda?
Only team which has completed 10 questions actually. Only team. Kitne marks?
Final score is 6.
6.
So 6 marks for Team Green.
Six.
Well done.
Roll the dice, please. Very nice, very nice. You can get back. The last 1 minute, you'll have to ask one question, lifestyle question. One judge. You can ask one lifestyle question to team red.
So now we move on to the lifestyle question round where the judges will ask questions.
One person should answer. One person.
Only one person has to answer.
One who has not
person.
taken part in the previous rounds, that one.
Yeah. Arun is answering. Okay.
So it'll be an interesting
I
question
ask
by
one
the judges.
question. In your life, what is one achievement that you are proud of till now? And what is your future achievement plan? What would you like to achieve in future?
Yes.
अब तक क्या करे, आगे क्या करोगे?
One thing which I have which I have achieved is a good health which I have been able to keep up, and I wish to keep my good health throughout my life because it is the health which is going to matter in the end and nothing else. And yeah.
So you have to give the marks.
And in okay.
Yellow. 8.
Roll of dice, please.
Okay, yes.
Dice, please. We can have only one
It's
member
4.
coming
I
from
rolled
each
the dice,
team, the
it's
person
4.
who has not
It's 4.
participated so far.
53 we are.
Only one person will come. Yeah.
To press the roll of the dice.
Hello, yeah. So, ma'am,
Automatically, it's a random number.
if and when you get to
Me,
lead
only one.
AIOS as the president, what will be your vision?
Can you repeat it?
If you get to lead AIOS as the president, what will be your vision?
सर कभी इस लेवल तक सोचा नहीं अभी सडनली सोचना पड़ रहा है So if I become an AIOS president any day, my vision would be to make AIOS the best society all over the world, such that each member is benefited and each member gets to participate the way they want to. Thank you.
Roll of the dice.
Roll of dice.
You got from 48 to 53. You got 5 and promoted from 48 to 53. It's the same marks. It's a tie between red and yellow. Blue team.
If you got one wish to make, whatever you want, what would you do? What would you ask for?
So the one wish I want would be that whenever I want, I can have one more wish. Right? And once I have that, then I don't think I need to ask for anything else. But yes, that's the one wish I want. Sir.
That was
Endless wishes.
clever.
Can I get that granted?
Multiple.
Yes.
Endless
So it becomes like a multiverse of wishes.
8, 9, 8. I'll roll the dice. 5. So it's 5. 5. 8. Now 5. It's 5, 6.
Okay, last team, the green team here. So be ready with the audience question last, and then we round the things.
So you're from the OC.
Yes, sir.
So you look at work as a tedious thing or a relaxation? Do you look for something outside work to relax?
So work is passion. It's not tedious. It's not for relaxation as well. It's the only thing that keeps me going. And apart from that, not only my work, but the academic part, that is something which constantly, gives me a push that I should move ahead, go ahead. And not only help myself, but also help my juniors, the upcoming generation, how to go about it, and never ever treat this field as just work. It's your passion, you have earned it, and you just need to go for it.
10, 9. It's a 9. 10. Roll of the dice. 4.
So,
Not bad.
So, now we have the winner final. Kya?
So red and yellow is a tie at
Red, yellow is the tie.
tie and blue is 46.
So what do you do with the tie? We never had this situation.
Science.
Huh?
Which has a better score.
Science कौन सा winner है?
31 with red.
हाँ?
In दोनों में 31.
So science, red team is the overall winner. Come, you can collect this check from the treasurer. All the judges, please come. Audience, still have the audience question. Or shall we do that? पहले टिंकू करा लो. Audience question, because that's a mega prize. Pick up. हाँ, बहुत लेट आया. नहीं. थोड़ा ही
Champion, everybody knows they will is a champion. Sing, champion.
One number. Number one. एक नंबर. कोई है? एक नंबर. नहीं है. 127. Please come. अरे बोगी. Next. 119, 119, 119. अरे टी-शर्ट्स लेके चले गए लोग एक्चुअली. Next. नम्रता तुम निकालो भाई. 117. कोई नहीं है. Now Lady Luck will smile. Lady Luck. नम्रता शर्मा. 116. ये साथ पढ़े हैं सारे. 116. अरे एक और. 217. 217. 217. कोई नहीं है. 236. Come. So I'll request Namrata Sharma to hand over the prize to you. And this is a mega prize, huge prize. Namrata, अरे तुम दो.
Meghna. Now I am doing a fellowship in glaucoma in LV Prasad.
Please receive the prize from Chairman Scientific Committee. One more last has to be picked up. So Arul, can you do the honors? नहीं. वो उसको वापस डाल. 85, 85, 85. 85, anybody? $86, 86, 86. Pick up one, pick up one. 155, 155, 155. 120, 120, 120, 120. 28, only 28, 28 number. Come. Chalo, last. No. Come. Please collect your mega prize from Arul.
Give your introduction.
I'm Dr. Kiran from AIMS Raipur.
Enjoy your day today. Now comes the last, that is the science and runner, science and luck winner, red team. So 3 cheers for the red team. Please come here. All of you come. Captain, Mukesh. ये host team, मुकेश ने पता नहीं क्या किया है. And next goes to the, चलो इधर एक first.
So yellow.
जो sequence कौन सा वाला टीम है? टीम येलो. टीम येलो. Despite. इधर आ जाओ. पकड़ो. नेक्स्ट कौन सा है? नेक्स्ट. अरे वो कहाँ गया? अरे नेक्स्ट बोलो. नेक्स्ट. ब्लू टीम. टीम ब्लू. अरे तुमने तो अच्छा किया था, फिर क्या हुआ? नहीं वो टाई था ना, उसमें टाई था इसलिए. अदरवाइज तुम, अरे आओ यहीं पे आओ भाई, प्लीज. स्टैंड. लास्ट इज कौन सा?
Champion. Everybody knows their will is a champion.
Green.
Champion.
Well, thank you everybody. Thank you judges. There's some inam for judges also, because ये दे दे एक पकड़ के. So as a token of appreciation, small ऐसे इसको छोड़ ऐसे. Give one each. Judges. बस. चल, thank you. Chal, we'll close this session and please give your feedback, whatever you like or dislike about this program. Thank you.
Nice program, very exciting. Sorry. And thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. And thanks to all of you for your warm participation. Thanks, sir.
You like the program? Hall was full. Do you commit for the next year?
Full house. Yes, full house, sir.
Commit for the next year?
Yes, sir.
Chal, thank you.
Great program.
And Dr. Harbans Lal for this wonderful idea of SFO. It's a great idea and wonderful execution by Dr. Lalit sir. Hats off to you.